expire.
But when they do, then we're going to look at.
I actually think, I'm going to give a lot of credit here to Tom Daniels because I worked with him years ago and he had a big hand in a lot of that work. I feel like our sewer contracts are really well-written and very robust. The reason that we spent so much time this year with Pittsfield, that's our largest water customer, and I don't believe we have revisited that contract. It was extended, I forget exactly what year, but the original contract was 1974. So our water contracts were just not as robust. And to be honest, a lot of the data center discussion really made us look internally and say, look, you know, if something were to happen out there, we need to make sure that rates are set correctly, costs are allocated correctly. If we were to ever incur significant expenditures for whatever reason, that the right communities being allocated those costs. And to be honest, I think the wastewater contracts have always done a great job of that. I mean, it's very well done, but the water side has just been different. So it's really taken a long time for Dwayne and myself and Scott to like really unravel all this and make sure that it's being done correctly. So it's a work in progress. I think we're 85% of the way there, but it's a big goal of mine to make sure that it's 100% correct.
We're doing a good job in making sure that everyone's paying towards the cost of the transmission of the water.
And that's a critical piece that gets left out because a lot of people don't realize, take for example Pittsfield, how we allocated their costs. Normally you look at larger transmission mains. Most engineers would look at larger transmission mains which deliver water, and we'd allocate those costs pretty quickly. But because the way the way Township and Pittsfield and Superior and Augusta are connected to YCUA and the Township system, it's intrinsic. So now we've actually backed it down to 12-inch water mains. So when our guys are out repairing a 12-inch water main, it has an impact on those communities. So I just say it's intrinsically connected, and therefore they should pay those costs.
All right, thank you. So we have a motion and support. I am going to do a roll call. Thank you for the reminder. Rowe? Yes. Newman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Eldridge?
Yes.
Thornton?
Yes.
The first reading is approved. Thank you, Luke.
Appreciate the support. Thank you.
Number 3 is accept the resignation of Marcia Lathan from the Board of Review effective immediately.
So moved.
Motion Peterson, support Rowe. Marcia has been on the Board of Review for 10 years, and we appreciate her service. This will be posted externally for people who would like to apply. We have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 4 is to approve Infrastructure Engineering of Michigan supplemental proposal for the E-Course Road feasibility study in the amount of $9,500, which is budgeted.
So moved.
Motion Eldridge. Support Newman. This additional work actually came out of the public meeting that was hosted in the Hawthorne neighborhood off of E-Course Road. There was 100+ people. It was very well attended. And they had requested that we do additional studies in September and October on truck traffic as well, not only the number of vehicles, but what type of vehicles, to just determine how, if any recommendations are made for the road diet on E-Course, and there will be an additional public meeting in the community to make sure whatever is recommended that we go back out to the public and show them with the new information that we're receiving. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Actually, I do have a
Yes.
question. So with the road diet, are we taking into consideration the school that's on E-Course as well?
Yeah, everything will be taken into consideration, and
But it's only 24 hours. How much?
well, they're doing it in September and October, which is when they're in. Are they in school then? So it would help with that count.
But it's only 24 hours
Yes,
study, right?
that's how they do it.
Okay.
I know, it seems like it'd be longer, but that's how the engineer studies are done.
Okay.
We didn't do one during that time period. It was either in the winter, I think. So they wanted to make sure that the schools were in when this occurred.
Okay.
Good question. And this is, all of this recommendations will come back to the residents and then to the township board before we move forward. There's some great input. We have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5 is to approve the extension of past photography pilot for 6 months at the current rate of $300 per meeting to be paid from 266-303-880000.
So moved, Peterson.
Motion Peterson,
Support.
support Eldridge. Is there discussion?
Just my discussion is, I had talked to him after one of the meetings, and he said they were capable of doing our meetings live, and that just was going to have to take some work and coordination between folks here, and can we maybe get somebody to work on that so we can bring that back?
And we have discussed that with IT director, and it has something to do with a T3 line or something. I'm not exactly sure, Karen, but we did ask that for that, and I agree, it should be able to be live, but there's some sort of high-speed internet line. I don't know the terminology.
So maybe we could get Travis to work with our person here to come up and bring back a plan. I mean, you can
Yeah.
do it, and just what's
Well, I mean, I say we can do it. He says we can't without that certain line, but it seems like we could. I agree. We can
people
push.
do them on YouTube, so I know there's a way. So they need to figure that out. I mean, I think that's the direction of the board, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Residents are asking it all the time.
And I do know that the residents really appreciate us implementing the videotape, and then Mr. Pask, he actually goes after the meeting, downloads it, and then uploads it to YouTube before it even gets to the township website. And then he emails it over to our webmaster to actually upload it on the township website. But I can actually ask again, our IT director. If not, maybe someone else can help us with that. I agree. So we have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, is to approve Bill Carr Signs as a single-source vendor for the purchase and installation of one replacement sign located at the Law Enforcement Center in the amount of $27,305, which is budgeted, or contingent upon a budget amendment.
So moved.
Motion Thornton,
Support.
support Eldridge. The sign at the Law Enforcement Center on Huron Street just stopped working. Oh, John is here.
Good evening, John Hines, Municipal Service Director. We are requesting Bill Carr Signs as a single source. I know you've heard their names many times before you. They are responsible for the replacement of all the signs in the township we have done over the last 2 years. We are requesting that they replace the digital portion of the sign at the Law Enforcement Center due to it breaking. I'm not sure if you've driven by over the last 3-4 weeks, but one sign is inoperable, and we did ask them for a repair. It is a sign we've repaired at least twice over the last 4 years, and they said due to the age of the sign, there's no longer parts available. So they would do a full replacement of the digital double-sided portion. It would be slightly bigger, but like the fire station signs that are soon to be installed in the next couple months, it would be a Think sign that would be able to work with the other system for the Civic Center and the fire station signs. So hopefully this would give us much better implementation for advertising, and again, now be fully operable.
Questions or comments?
Madam Chair, so
Yes.
John, you're saying it just broke and you replaced it many times. I did hear you say that. My question would be, what type of guarantee for this $27,000? How long would this sign last?
That's a great question.
Do you know, just
they
off the top of your head?
It does come with a 5-year labor warranty and a 5-year parts warranty.
Labor and parts?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Sorry about that. Number 7 is approve the W.J. O'Neill Company to perform a replacement of the existing 3-ton split unit and an installation of a new backup 3-ton split unit at the Civic Center server room for $38,174, contingent upon a budget amendment.
So move.
Motion Peterson?
No,
No,
Karen.
Rowe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad.
Motion Rowe,
Support Peterson.
support Peterson, my apologies. Mr. Hines?
Yes, I'm bringing this forward with Travis McDougald, IS manager, but this would be to replace the existing AC unit that serves our server room here at the Civic Center. Unfortunately, on July 1st, due to the extreme heat, the age of the unit, and the fact that we did a construction project that doubled the size of the demand for the unit, the compressor died. Thankfully, WJ, they did send a tech out that next day to try to fix it, but it was just completely gone with the compressor failing. So we do have a temporary unit running the room right now, but of course, that can only get us going for so long. So this would be to replace the unit, but also the secondary part of this, there were 2 proposals, and what was sent over would be to add a secondary unit if this were to ever happen again. It's something that frankly, we probably should have done in the foresight, because if a unit were to die, at least it could kick on and we would not have the rush to replace it as we do right now. The secondary unit does cost more than the Proposal 1 replacement unit, and that's because the space does not it's not built for the housing right now. There will need to be some boring of the ceiling to add additional exhaust, new piping, running the electrical to the generator, so it is a
Higher cost.
higher cost, and it's going to be a bigger project to do the second. But by doing both at one time, we are getting a $2,500 break due to not needing to remobilize the crane. And there's a 3 to 5 lead day time for the first unit, which of course is the priority. So if this were approved, we would look to get this to WJ to get replaced, hopefully next week.
Questions or comment? There is no climate change, is what they say.
Those 95-degree days are not doing us any favors.
Right. That was a joke, for the record. We have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 8 is to waive the bidding requirement of the financial policy and improve CEI of Ann Arbor, Michigan for services to replace a roof at the hydro station contingent on attorney review.
So moved.
Michael? Motion Eldridge, support Rowe. Michael?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Mike Sarn. I'm the operations manager and safety coordinator for the township. So we had a roof failure. The system that was up there had separated from the concrete deck. And so we went to one of the building firms to help build a project that would have a 20-year warranty. So, but that also limits our availability to hire contractors because it has to be done a certain way. And the manufacturer has a very small pool of installers. So CEI is one of them. We did get quotes from Newton Crane Roofing and Royalty Roofing to kind of give us a cross or a bid or an average competitive price. So CEI Michigan came in at low at $50,395. So.
Questions or comment? So the amount is $50,395, and it was the lowest quote. You
That's
did get 3 quotes for the job.
Yeah, they get 3 quotes, yes.
Pardon me for not having the other 2 quotes. What were the other quotes? Were
Yep,
they?
my apologies. Newton Crane Roofing came in at $61,050, and Royalty Roofing came in at $56,850.
Okay. So was the decision not only based on the low end, but was it based on quality or?
All companies were comparable because the manufacturer that will be providing the warranty, all are reputable installers. I asked questions about any current issues with the installers. They were all up on par with the warranty company and the manufacturer. So they were all equal. It really came down to CEI is a Michigan, or I'm sorry, a Washtenaw County contractor. The other ones were on the east side, and they were also low bid.
Okay, thank you.
We have a motion and support. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Number 9 is approve replacing 3 existing automated external defibrillators, AEDs, in the township-owned building.
So moved. Rowe.
Support?
Is that motion, Rowe? Support. Newman?
Madam Chair?
Yes,
So
Michael.
these here are 3 of them that we currently have, one here at the community center, the civic center, and at the 14B court. They are over 6 years old, and they're due for annual or replacement maintenance, batteries, pads, that stuff. Right now, I have to take on that responsibility, coordinate it with the manufacturer's service. Then we're out of those units for months at times because of battery availability. With going to a service or a lease program, a rental program, they provide the maintenance. They will exchange the one that needs maintenance, and then they give us a loaner unit. And this is a 3-year rental agreement. I'll be working with Doug on language and answering questions that he'll have on this agreement. So, the prices came in pretty close. Cintas came in the middle at $14,580 over the 3 years. Thompson Safety came in at $14,038.92 over the 3 years. And the Certisite is also our fire suppression inspection, and they came in at $16,698. That one there, I was a little bit surprised, and what they did there is the township had to buy the units, and they pay them to maintain them. So that was why that one came in more, because we had to actually buy the units up front. So whereas Cintas and Thompson's, they bought them, they own them, we're just basically leasing them from them. So.
So the motion is for Cintas at $14,580.
Yeah, that's my recommendation, because they're doing our first aid cabinets now, and that gives us, they have the person on site once a month already. They've already had to go through special security clearance for the hydro, the resource center. So the staff already knows the service tech. So of course they change over the years, but that company has been vetted, so I've not heard any complaints with their service.
And it's currently budgeted.
Yes, it's currently budgeted, yeah.
All right. We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 10 is approved budget number 11. Brooke Swanson?
Motion to amend the 2026 budget number 11. Move to increase the general fund budget by $38,174 to $13,089,027 and approve the department line item changes as outlined. Move to increase the bike, sidewalk, rec, roads, general, BSR 2 fund budget by $50,000 to $3,238,804 and approve the department line item changes as outlined. Move to increase the law enforcement fund budget by $27,305 to $9,990,953 and approve the department line item changes as outlined. So moved.
Motion Swanson?
Support. Rowe.
Support Rowe. Questions or comment? We did have to increase the sidewalk repair. There was a lot this year, so we increased them by $50,000, which is in this budget amendment. We have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under authorization and bid, we are seeking sealed bids for replacement pavilion to be located at Clubview Park, which is budgeted.
So moved, Peterson.
Motion Peterson.
Support.
Support Eldridge. This will come back to the board. Questions or comments?
Yeah, do we have, I'm sorry, do we have Are there specs developed for the proposal?
There's a 90% RFP in the packet, so there's just a final few things that they wanted to button up that just were not done in time. But yeah, all the specs are,
So that's what we're approving, is the specs and to go out?
yep.
Okay, thanks.
We did do community engagement as well on the location of the pavilion. And we located it in between the pickleball court and the playground. I'd say the pickleball court and then the Fairway Hills entrance, and then closer to the Clubview entrance. And the overwhelming majority wanted it closer to the pickleball courts and the playground. So it's not going to be exactly where it was before, but it'll be kind of in that general direction.
Thank you. Any
So
other?
John, they will tear the old one down, that's really close to that gate coming in?
The old one, actually, we had to tear down due to the wood deficiencies. So it was taken down last year, so our plan is to, hopefully we can get the RFP finalized this week, get it posted, and bring an award back for the next meeting. If not, it'll be September. But it's a very straightforward job, so I'm hoping that the weather holds out and we can get it done this year.
Okay, thank you.
We have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
you.
And we have the recommendation to award the bid to Varsity Ford of Ann Arbor for one new Ford 2026 F-150 4x4 Super Crew to support the fire department operations and emergency responses, which is budgeted.
So moved.
Support.
Motion Rowe, support Thornton. Oh, Chief?
Good evening once again. Yes, after the the bids were opened a week or so ago, and looking through all the proper paperwork and stuff, as you can see in front of you, we would prefer to award the bid to Varsity Ford. They were a few dollars or a few $100s more, but we've had some past experiences working with them with our fleet vehicles. To give you the example, our local Ford dealer here in town does not have a diesel mechanic, so we would have to go outside and look, not that these vehicles are diesel, but they're a little bit bigger and better to support our needs. Talking to Municipal Director John Hines, in the past, we bought some vehicles through Varsity Ford, and they seem to meet our needs with one fail shot. Another thing I like about them too is if I need to get the vehicle over for service, it's local, where if I had to travel outside the county to, say, Detroit or whatever, would increase overtime for the township. If I personally couldn't take it out, if the vehicle broke down or something and we were busy. So my recommendation, even though it is a couple $100s more to go with Varsity, very friendly to the township, and I think that it would suit our well purpose.
Questions or comments? And we did have 8 bidders.
Yes,
Yep, I counted them, I think.
yes.
So
And we
that
had-
was quite a good bid, and I want to thank Mila for getting
Yes,
that out there and not
having-
only posting it, but also sending it to local
Absolutely.
people as well, so great.
And for the first time, we actually had, or my experience was, we had 2 individuals, I believe it was a husband and wife, that came in and actually wanted to witness the process as well. So it's out there, they know we're using it, and it's a straight stream for everybody.
So we have a motion support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
At this time, are there public comments to be made? If you could address the board, you have 3 minutes.
Jeremy Haley, resident. Thanks for putting on the special meeting about the data center, U of M Los Alamos, and spending the time to inform people. And let you know, I did go to the Ann Arbor City Council and ask them to put forth a resolution to support the township in not having it. Believe it or not, the crickets were louder. You know, and I'm really starting to think that Ann Arbor really doesn't like Ypsi Township, or people on the other side of 23, really. You know what I mean? You ask them for something, but the mayor says there will be no data center in Ann Arbor. But they'll make sure there's one in Ypsi Township, right? And another reason why I think Ann Arbor doesn't like Ypsilanti or Ypsi Township is, if you heard the news today on NPR, they gave a half-hour conversation with Mayor Taylor and, Yusuf Rabi. And when Mayor Taylor was talking, he spoke about how the Delana Center is overflowing and that they're willing to give money to Ypsilanti, Ypsi Township, to build a homeless shelter out of their own funding because they are overflowing, and their overflowing is affecting their downtown area. And to help that, they want to put money from Ann Arbor towards Ypsi Township to put up a homeless shelter to deter their homeless people. So this is why I'm starting to think that Ann Arbor really doesn't like Ypsi or Ypsi Township. And you can go back to the interview in about 42 minutes and it starts. You can hear the whole thing where he starts talking about the Delana Center and the funding, and how he's going to give funding to the east side so they can help build a homeless shelter so they can send their overflow. Okay? I'm just to inform you what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Had no idea. Any other comment? That's shocking.
Hi.
Okay, sorry. Hi, I'm Courtney Brady. I am an Ypsi Township resident. I have quite a bit to say, so I'm going to try to be fast. First, I want to thank you, Brenda, for showing up at Selene. I was there at the first tax abatement meeting. I just want to say that, sorry to be inappropriate, but you've got more balls than all of those men up there and all those men in that picture. You showed up and said no. You, Yosef, all of them. Just thank you again for showing up. Thank you for bringing it up today, because I was also not able to make the informational meeting, so I wanted to thank you for doing that as well. All very important things. I also wanted to thank you, Doug, for bringing up a lot of information about the bad actors we talked about today. We talked about last week. Justin Hodge. I'm going to call out Anthony Hudson for showing up and saying no data centers while he's sharing AI videos and pretending generative AI isn't in a data center and that we need to do our research. I think he needs to do his research. His immigration policies don't reflect his anti-flock policies. Again, bad actors, MEDC, we called them out. We're going to keep calling them out. But I also really want to highlight today Carlisle Wortman Associates. I know they've been brought to your attention. I know you've been sent an affidavit about what they did in Selene, using a 2013 draft to review Related Digital's proposal. The lawyer, Fred Lucas, knew about it. The whole board knew about it. Sorry. I did a lot of frantic planning here, but I just want to call out, again, Carlisle Wortman Associates, several reasons. They're doing the same thing in Allen Park, Berlin, Dundee, Selene, Lenox, Wixom, Pittsfield Township. They're going to do it here. They're doing it here. They're all over our master plan. I'm young, dumb, and new to this, but I reviewed our 2020 master plan, which is the only thing that I saw on the website. Not looking good. A lot of political frilly language like you talked about redevelopment. MEDC's readiness development plan was on goal number 2 under the jobs was very alarming. Goal number 4 to facilitate redevelopment of vacant and underutilized land. The riverfront, very scary. Goal number 5 was the most alarming, saying that you wanted to continue the development of the Willow Run Bomber Plant as a tourist and technology magnet. Inviting them right in, guys. That's just absolutely terrifying. There's nothing about Carlisle Wortman Associates and MEDC that doesn't scream data centers. They are bringing them here. The entire master plan and the 2022 zoning that was posted on the website is just tailored for them to do this. I think we point a lot of fingers at going up the ladder, which I completely agree with, but it starts here with that master plan. And like I said, I've only was 5 pages into the master plan, none of the zoning, and I'm new to this, but we need to be aggressive and protective, not let them do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Courtney.
Thank you, guys.
appreciate those comments, and
And Great Lakes
She's
Water
right.
Authority. You called them out, let's stay on them. The moratorium, sorry, I just want to say one more thing, the moratorium. Thank you so much, Luke Blackburn, but we got to stay on Great Lakes Water Authority. They're increasing our prices because of that. He even said it.
yeah,
Let's be real.
thank you. Other comments from the public? Hearing none, we did add under, oh, are there any board member comment? The only thing I would say is that I know Mr. Winters is working with planning on a data center ordinance.
Yeah, we're looking at different drafts right now, and
It's
some of
another attorney firm, yeah.
the things that are brought up this evening by, is it Courtney?
Yes.
Yeah, we've been looking at what you've been seeing as well, so it's a work in progress, but what you said is also, it's been somewhat on our plate as well, so thank you.
All right, we have to add Resolution 2026-16. Trustee, or Treasurer Eldridge, you wanted to bring this forward?
Okay, the Charter Township of Ypsilanti Resolution 2026-16, a resolution opposing the proposed increase to the Washtenaw County E-911 surcharge until greater transparency, equity, and financial accountability are provided to the Charter Township of Ypsilanti and all other police service contracting communities within Washtenaw County. Whereas the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners established the Police Services Steering Committee to maintain a collaborative and transparent relationship between Washtenaw County, the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office, and local units of government regarding the delivery and cost of contract police services, and to facilitate a fair, data-driven contract negotiation process. And whereas the PSSC was intended to provide a forum for meaningful discussion regarding police service methodology, cost allocation, service delivery, and other matters affecting local contracting communities prior to significant policy decisions being made. And whereas the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office has proposed an increase to the county's E-911 surcharge while simultaneously suggesting a modification of the Police Service Unit, a PSU, methodology and reducing the public safety and mental health millage subsidy currently benefiting communities that contract with the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office. And whereas the elected officials for the Charter Township of Ypsilanti support identifying sustainable funding sources for emergency communications and recognizes the importance of providing high-quality 911 dispatch services throughout Washtenaw County, and whereas the proposed methodology provides little meaningful benefit to contracting communities because the removal of dispatch costs from the PSU methodology is substantially offset by a corresponding reduction in the public safety and mental health millage subsidy. And whereas the contracting communities already fund the majority of the Sheriff's Office contracted patrol operations and have historically relied upon the public safety and mental health millage subsidy to help offset these costs, and whereas the Washtenaw County Sheriff's decision to suspend her personal participation in the Police Services Steering Committee and the recommendation to pause meaningful discussion of police service funding and methodology until after the November 2026 election is inconsistent with the purpose for which the PSSC was established and limits the collaborative dialogue necessary for local units of government to make informed decisions regarding the proposed E-911 surcharge. And whereas the governing body believes that the significant changes to the police services funding methodology, along with the true impacts of the proposed E-911 surcharge, should be fully vetted through the Police Services Steering Committee with the active in-person participation of the Washtenaw County Sheriff before any ballot proposal is presented to the voters of Washtenaw County. Now therefore be it resolved that, number one, the Charter Township of Ypsilanti opposes the proposed increases to the Washtenaw County E-911 surcharge until greater transparency is provided regarding the revised Police Service Unit, PSU, funding methodology, the reduction in the Public Safety and Mental Health millage subsidy, the proposed use of approximately $1 million in redirected millage funds, and the financial impacts on contracting communities. Number two, the Charter Township of Ypsilanti opposes suspending meaningful police services steering committee discussions regarding the proposed E-911 surcharge, police services unit methodology, and the public safety and mental health millage subsidy until after the 2026 election, and believes these matters should be fully discussed before the proposal is presented to the voters of Washtenaw County. Number three, the Charter Township of Ypsilanti requests that the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners and the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office fully engage the Police Services Steering Committee, including the sheriff's active and in-person participation as a committee member in accordance with its intended purpose prior to advancing significant changes affecting contract police services, funding methodology, or the proposed E-911 surcharge. Number four, the Charter Township of Ypsilanti supports continued investment in emergency communications and countywide public safety initiatives, but believes those initiatives should be funded through transparent, equitable, and sustainable revenue sources that do not diminish the historical public safety and mental health millage benefit provided to contracting communities. Number five, the Charter Township of Ypsilanti directs the township clerk to transmit a certified copy of this resolution to each member of the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners, Washtenaw County Sheriff Alicia Dyer, and the Washtenaw County Administrator. I would so move the resolution.
Motion Eldridge. Support Swanson. Do you want to just, there were two other communities that are part of the Police Services Committee that adopted this resolution, and it was sent to us. I think Sheriff Dyer, like her heart was in the right place, but it was going so quickly, and there was so many questions that couldn't really be answered, and the proposal would take the 45 cents per line for each of cell phones up to $3. And it could be $2.50, $2.70. There really wasn't, we couldn't get a good answer on that. And that would, so sometimes, like in my family, we have 3 phones. So each phone would go from 45 cents, it could go up to $3, but I think it was like $2.50 per line, and that's per month. And it also includes landlines, believe it or not. So I think there does need to be a change in 911 and the way it's funded, but I think we really do need to pause and study it more and see what are the effects on the PSU, what are the effects on the general fund for the county budget as well, because they will benefit from this, and answer the question, how will it affect each family that actually has these cell phones? So it was just too rushed of a decision for me, and why I do support this resolution. And it can be brought back. I did call Commissioner Hodges to let him know that this was going to be considered, and he understood. They can't do it in 27 because there's no county-wide election, so they'll wait to do it until in 2028. And then that gives time for people to learn more about it and understand it thoroughly, and perhaps get something in writing that says how this increased fees will affect the county, and as well as the police services, and most importantly, the residents of the community. So, yes.
So this just circles back to what Attorney Winters talked about earlier today. The idea that the county didn't stand up against tax cuts, but they want people to pay for this service, which people in Washington County have been very generous as far as passing millages to help. But the question then is, why are we giving tax breaks to the people in the picture, those companies? Because, I mean, they could definitely afford it and no problem. And then it also is concerning because in our case, the data center that's being crammed on our throats doesn't pay taxes at all, including the taxes to help fund the emergency responders, which is so curious as well. So I think it's important. I don't think our board is not in favor of emergency services and 911. But the question is, like, when are people going to start standing up for the people that represent them? Because there's a lot that the county could do with money, including probably make sure that 911 was fully funded in a different way.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, Trustee Rowe?
I mean, I know things have changed since I was on the Police Services Committee, but this is a change. This is a complete, like, throwing everything out. And I think they're taking advantage of our sheriff because I don't think she knows. Because that was a deep, inbred, long-term, I mean, even before the different millages or the millage that came up that we shared and all that, that the promise was made. My understanding is now they passed other ordinances to take those dollars away from us. Well, that's not what was, was the understanding and stuff. And so just to throw that all away. And then on top of it, just, I think what Clerk Swanson said and what we've all been alluding to, it's like there's like dysfunction on the County Board of Commissioners. The data center is a huge, huge issue, and they ought to be on it. But there's a million things that they're doing that they're just lost on. And I don't know, like there's no direction other than, how can we charge you more? How can we get you to pay more? I just read where they're considering a new tax. They're trying to decide whether they're going to put that on the ballot for us to pay for health care for people that I guess aren't getting it anymore. Let's be clear here. I wrote it on one of my Facebook posts, but I'll never forget, being on a county commission, but even before I was on, I can never forget, it's Tim Krieger, who's from Willow Run, talked about his wonderful father, Dillard, who was the County Board of Commissioners representing Township, who really represented the Township for years. And then there was Prater, and then there was Ronnie, and then, I'm probably missing somebody else that was on there, but, Ricky Jefferson. But you always knew, you didn't even have to call these people. You knew, I don't have to call, like when they say, call your state senator. I don't have to call my county commissioner because I know they're on it. You don't have that today, and they've sold out, like no one represents us, and they want to keep Ann Arbor happy and to be on their thing, and Wes Prater said it. When the townships across this county, and you see it, and I'm so happy when I finally got a chance to read that, so the other two townships are together, and then there's us, that's three of us at least. He said, when Wes Prater said, the townships have got to stick together in Washtenaw County. If they don't, then it's all thrown away and everything's going. That police millage, all the things that are happening, and what they're saying, and they're saying it clear to some people. I'm not sure that they've said it clear. I haven't heard no one's told me. It's been secondhand, but I know it's from people who are honest. I know what they're saying is that you have to remember too, when you go to Ann Arbor, what do you see? I mean, if you haven't been there in a while, everywhere you go is a new building. The number one taxpayers, value-wise, assessment-wise, first is manufacturing. That's just it's across our state. Number two is housing. Apartments pay the very, very large tax assessments. So when you drive around and you see those multi-million, billion dollars, things, there's huge increases in the county-wide assessment. I did some calculations even before this Oracle and all this came out, and it's like their increases are like 12 and 14% a year. But what they've said, just to be clear on it, and that's where the fight's at, and that's where the townships all need to get together, because they're giving all that money to themselves and to where things that they want that are not the priorities of our community, of our residents, and frankly, not of the residents across the entire county. And it's taking care of pots when things don't work. Like right now, they got the cuts. on all these stuff that they got from the state. I'm sorry, I wish those weren't there, but you can't take that out on our taxpayers. Our taxpayers are not unlimited resources that whenever the feds cut something or the state cuts something, well, we'll just go get another tax because our people always vote yes. No, we've got to draw the line in the sand, and they need to stop and figure out ways to do things. I mean, they're telling their unions over there the same thing. No raises, because we are going to use that increase, that assessment increase. They want that pot of money for the county commissioner to decide where these little special projects and things that they want to fund, but nothing that's over here. So it's time, to get organized. We need to have a slate of candidates across this entire county to combat and work against the Ann Arbor commissioners who are basically controlling the county board of commissioners. And they're the reason why. It's the Ann Arbor commissioners, because they're the majority, that Justin and them are following and doing everything because they want to be well-liked or patted on. I don't know what the problem is. They're not representing us. I know that, and they don't care. And even, I didn't get to be at this meeting, because I had other stuff I do, but I listened to it, and that cackle that he made, like just laughing at the meeting, at our residents in the background, it's just like, I wanted to jump out of that thing and go find him. But yeah, it's sad. And we've got to join together with the rest of our townships and whoever, Dexter, that's Lonnie, right? Lonnie Scott, who used to be a township. Anyways, we have to join and get that, we've got to get that going. And whatever I can do, calling people up, being involved in that. I don't know, is there other townships we need to call on this resolution? Just send it to me. I'll call them. Some of them I know from working with the county and through the elections and everything too. So I'm willing to do whatever we got to do, because this is wrong. This right here is wrong. It's just, this is a piece of it, but it's just a piece of everything that's been going on.
It's a shift. They're shifting dollars from the general fund at the county to the taxpayers is what's happening.
And they're still in it. They stole basically our millage dollars. That deal that they sold us on, that we would all get that taken care of, so it'd be a nice little pot of change in our general fund to help pay for this, or for police services, and now it's gone?
Well,
48%.
And don't forget the non-contracting police, cities with their own police departments. They get to keep all their money and do what they want with it. They're not affected by this. And there will be other townships.
It's townships. Yes.
There'll be other townships that are going to follow and support this as well, I think.
Yep.
And my understanding is they have to vote at the county level at the August 5th meeting in order to get it on the ballot. And it's just rushed. It's too rushed. And I do think the effects on residents will be, they're saying it's not a tax, it's a surcharge. Walks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
Brenda, there was a time when something like this, and I don't know when it changed. I don't know with the new administrator what happened over there, but there was a time when anything like this come forward, they would come to your community. They would have slides because they were proud of it, and they could show that it was needed and talk to you. It's like now you just...
It's rushed is what it is. It seems to be very rushed. And to our residents who told us that Ann Arbor is going to give money to 48197 and 48198 to build a homeless shelter because the Delana Center is causing them issues? Really? I'll have to listen to that. That is, I didn't think you could give taxpayers money from one community to another community, number one, but.
That's a whole nother issue, but that is not a simple solution like that.
No, it's not.
Even if we built that, that's not the answer.
Right.
The new homeless that you have now, young mom, that things with the whole housing crisis is totally different than the homeless issue that happened with the closing of the state hospital, which is affecting every place across the entire nation because there was a policy and a head shift about how do you take care of people who can't take care of themselves. Do you throw them out there because you think, oh, they have a right to make their decisions, or do you actually care about their lives and their livelihood and their health care? Because they're not getting it out on the street.
Right. So, lots of issues.
Bigger issue.
Any other questions or comments? Mr. Winter?
I know I shouldn't be speaking right now, but just Karen's comments also, again, trigger thoughts in regards to this issue about the data centers. And even today, I meant to mention earlier that Marisha also brought to my attention there is a place in Cheyenne, Wyoming, where the Board of Public Utilities, which is their version of YCUA, they had stopped a contractor working on behalf of Facebook from constructing a data center because some bacteria that is somewhat organic to the soil and water had somehow entered into the wastewater treatment facility out there. And so, again, right now, as we've said on so many occasions, and I think when you live long enough to see, all of us are saying the same thing, I think we've been somewhat used to having the Ann Arbor commissioners be who they are. So when people tell you who they are, you believe them. What we haven't been used to seeing for a long time is having people that are supposed to be representing us going along with that. And when the day comes and I have to, I didn't say anything tonight at the public meeting when Justin made his comments from the audience in kind of a heckling fashion. And I just thought to myself, when we have attended Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners meetings, we may not have agreed with what was going on there. I don't recall anybody, myself included, heckling or just calling out in a very, very kind of condescending fashion. And what I'm trying to explain as best I can is that what you're seeing here right now with this, there is a growing gap between the east and west part of Washtenaw County. It remains divided by race someplace. And whether it's going to be with the 911 surcharge, or whether it's going to be with the millage right now. And I was over there in Ann Arbor today, and quite frankly, it's almost impossible to get around Ann Arbor right now because there's so much construction going on, and I've never seen so many buildings in my life that are being built over there. And so when the professor from U of M says, we really wanted to build this data center in Ann Arbor, we didn't have the electricity, we didn't have the water, we didn't have the power. It's just total nonsense because they're building 6, 8, 10-story buildings all over the place. I'm not sure how they're actually getting them into that tiny footprint. But the point is right now is that we're going to see such a growing disparity of income gap in this county and the treatment where it's going to get worse. And I don't know where you plant your flag down. The data center to me is a make or break moment for the township because it's going to determine not only the immediate impact, it's going to determine what happens in 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years because it's going to go beyond that. And the very fact right now that you're asking for a surcharge on 911 when you have the U of M Los Alamos saying, and speaking of 911, this was around 9/11. We had last year, we had the conversation about them paying a police and fire millage, and they almost literally laughed in our face by saying, we don't pay any taxes, be it police, be it fire, be it anything. But if you want, I guess something like Jeff Irwin has suggested, Senator, that we want a boardwalk around a place to walk around, you might do something like that. So it goes on and on, but I'm just saying from my perspective of being over here since 1984 and watching my father when he was a county commissioner years ago and watching other people that have followed over there right now, the biggest difference I've seen right now is that you don't have people representing the city's interests, the township's interests, Eastern Washtenaw County's interests. And it is divided by Carpenter Road. And I think that this is another example of what Stan is doing this evening, is trying to kind of recalibrate that equation because right now it's like a steamroller. Don't mean to go off on something totally unrelated, but it is all related together.
It's all connected, and there is a master plan update that we're doing, which we're required to do every 5 years. So that process will start. And I think in 2020 that was probably the first one I was not involved with in 2020. They had a committee. But I think at that time, because the auto industry, had closed and greatly affected Ypsilanti Township and the city of Ypsilanti, that they were looking at doing something different so you could have like a diverse economic base. But there's no way I knew that data centers they knew, I mean, people knew in 2020 in the state of Michigan, and this is a well-orchestrated plan to harm people who have land, which are townships. And that's where they're going to go, is to the townships. And Celine is, if you go by there, it's so unnatural to see that much building and the amount of cement it's going to take up the earth. It's mind-boggling. And for them to give them a tax base abatement, and then the county is given tax abatements for apartments in Ann Arbor, for the city of Ann Arbor, and there's 2 of them, large tax abatements. So I think raising taxes should be the last solution, not the first. And I appreciate this coming forward, and we just have to keep pushing together and make it known, and we won't give up. So stay tuned on the master plan, and that'll be a public process, so we can try to address the insufficient or the opportunities for data centers to come here, and change our ordinance to make them stronger and more enforceable, along with YCUA, with the studies they are doing as well, and just protect our community and our people to the best of our ability. And we will do that. A motion to adjourn? Pardon me? Oh, did we not vote? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion Eldridge?
Support.
Support Thornton. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 8:31. Thank you.